result of vibration between an electric field and a magnetic field. In other words, EM waves are composed of oscillating magnetic and electric fields. The EM spectrum is a range of frequencies that corresponds to all different forms of electromagnetic radiation in the universe. It begins at the highest frequencies, where the waves are most stretched out or low frequency, and becomes very tightly packed waves or high frequency. Our universe operates on the principles of the electromagnetic spectrum. Without it, we wouldn't able to see, the stars wouldn't shine, and life would not exist. In our everyday lives, we always encounter or use electromagnetic waves. But how? By cooking food, by joining the conference, using Wi-Fi, and using medical imaging, or what we call X-rays. As the world becomes more modernized and technologies around the world continue to amaze people, people would see more the bigger image for our future. The electromagnetic spectrum is a reminder that makes us think how it applies to our daily lives and how it helps us.
What are the bad effects of electromagnetic radiation? Some members of the public have attributed the diffuse collection of symptoms to low levels of exposure to electromagnetic fields at home. Reported symptoms include headaches, anxiety, suicide, and depression, fatigue, and loss of libido.
What are the bad effects of radio waves?
Radio wave is electromagnetic radiation that converts to mechanical vibration to create sound waves, which, based on research, are possibly carcinogenic or the potential to cause cancer to humans. Association with wireless phone use may increase the risk for glioma, a malignant type of brain cancer. Once acutely and chronically exposed to this radiation may also damage DNA, EEG activity, or memory, behavior, and cognitive functions, gene and protein expression, cardiovascular function, immune response, reproductive outcome, and perceived electromagnetic hypersensitivity. To address this risk, manage your exposure to the low limits outlined in Safety Code 6, which recommends safety limits for human exposure to EMF.
What are the characteristics of radio waves, wavelength, frequency, and key parts?
The characteristics of the radio waves. Radio waves has a wavelength of about 2 to 3 meters. Remember that 2 meters is about the size of a human being. In comparison, an FM station broadcasting at 90 MHz is broadcasting at a wavelength of 3.3 meters. The range of radio wave frequency is about 10 kHz or 10,000 waves per second, or you can translate it to 100 GHz, which is 100 million vibrations per second. Key facts about radio waves is that it has the longest wavelength in the electromagnetic spectrum. They range from the length of a football to as large as our planet. And also, Heinrich Hertz is the one who proved the existence of radio waves back in the late 1880s. Other facts about radio waves is that radio waves is not a sound wave but an electromagnetic wave that is produced when an electric field and a magnetic field are joined together to form a radio wave.
What about radio waves' location on the electromagnetic spectrum in relation to other kinds of radiation? What properties of the wave define why it is found within this area of spectrum?
Wavelength and frequency are the properties of the wave that define why it is found where it is on the spectrum. Radio waves begin with the longest wavelength and lowest frequency and go to the gamma rays, which have the shortest wavelength and the highest frequency. Wavelength of the wave determines which class we put them in. In fact, they are all the same, except for their wavelength. We have ordered them into classes based on our use for us and what they can do when they interact with matter.
Wave, a wave from the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum at a lower frequency than microwaves. It is seen at the one of the ends of the electromagnetic spectrum diagram because it has the lowest wavelength and a lower frequency and energy. As such, it has the longest wavelength of the electromagnetic spectrum. They range from the length of a football to larger than a planet. The wavelengths of a radio wave range from 1,000 meters to 30 centimeters. This corresponds to frequency as low as 3 Hz and high as 1 GHz.
How is it used or found in our everyday lives or certain industries? What are its uses?
Radio waves are very widely used in modern technology for fixed and mobile radio communication, broadcasting, radar and radio navigation systems, communication satellites, wireless computer networks, and many other applications. Radar is a detection system that uses radio waves to get information about objects. Bluetooth and wireless communication use radio waves to create connections between devices.